Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now June 24th of 2025, and given that the Meghan Markle backlash and drama is only getting worse, the longer that she keeps her viral video post on Instagram up on there and running and will not take it down regardless of all of the demands by Netflix, all of the demands by multiple studios in Hollywood, she refused to take it down and she's actually beginning to witness the consequences. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, one thing about Meghan Markle is that, yes, we do know that she is trying to really just keep her time at Netflix alive and well. This is exactly why she's been trying to keep Ted Sarandos on her side, and even he is beginning to actually crack. Even he is beginning to show many major signs that he is tired of Meghan Markle, that he is fed up and exhausted over her shenanigans. And well, just recently it got even worse after what Netflix just did to Meghan Markle in the most unexpected way that you could think of. Let's get into this. Now, what's interesting about this entire scenario is that we already know that Meghan Markle is going to say whatever she has to say, either if it's to Netflix or to the critics out there and the general public, or to anybody else that actually views her as toxic or insufferable or anything like that, right? Because that is what she is, essentially. When you look at Netflix and what they put out there and the type of material that they're removing and actually putting on the platform and also raising rates, this is exactly why people are leaving Netflix as a whole, and they are actually deciding to unsubscribe from them and moving to other platforms. But focusing on all of this, with the Meghan Markle still getting involved in serious drama behind both the scenes, of course, and in the public eye, posting her viral video, one major development going on now involves more to do with her conflicts between herself and Netflix. It turns out that Meghan recently got in serious trouble after getting involved in a very big argument with CEO Greg Peters. It turns out that both Greg and Ted decided to agree with each other on deleting the very big scene that Meghan had filmed for season 2 some time ago, and that involved herself doing dance moves to rap music with some of the surprise guests in the kitchen. Now, this scene was described to be as the cringiest moment for season 2 and was labeled as the worst scene of all from all of the test screenings that took place over the past 2 months. After both Ted and Greg made an agreement with the board's acknowledgement, this created an uproar coming from Meghan Markle and even her own team for deleting a scene that they viewed as their greatest accomplishment for the series. Now, part of that scene even involved Meghan Markle lip-syncing to the rap song on camera while holding silverware and cooking various types of soups in the kitchen. After Netflix ordered the editors to abandon the scene completely, Meghan Markle had an outburst with Greg Peters for convincing Ted Sarandos to make the ultimate decision to pull out of that scene, and labeled Netflix as sexist and misogynist for taking out a scene that represented powerful women in the household. Now, this scene shockingly also involved Mindy Kaling and her return, and now doing dance moves as well to rap music along with 2 other mystery guests that are not known at this time. However, Meghan Markle got so defensive after the scene was cut, it turns out that the main reason why it was slashed at last minute was not just limited to the failed test screenings, but also it was related to the viral pregnancy video and its similarities that it held to the rap dance scene in With Love Meghan Season 2. Now, this was ultimately cut from the series by Ted in the midst of realizing just how large the backlash was from Meghan Markle in regards to that pregnancy video. Now, Meghan is now endlessly fighting Netflix to restore the scene, or else she is willing to take some form of action down the road against them. Now, guys, let me just say one thing about that. From what it sounds like is that this scene was either modeled after her pregnancy video or the other way around. And I think at the end of the day, we all know that nobody actually wants to see any kind of garbage like this on Netflix. And I think that slowly but surely, you're beginning to see Ted Sarandos reach a level of normalcy. I don't think it's going to happen overnight, but you're beginning to see him realize that content like this does not belong on Netflix. It does not belong on a platform that is trying to set itself as one of the best streaming platforms out there with exclusive TV shows that are top rated. That's what they're trying to keep at. And so far, they're losing a lot of people. People are leaving in droves. And like I said, it's not just related to Meghan Markle. Let's be very real about this. But it's the heightening rates, right? It's raising prices for the subscription plans. At the same exact time of doing that, they're removing beloved content off the platform, whether it's beloved movies or TV shows that people watch regularly, and that's leaving the platform month by month. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Now, in addition to all of this, screeners noted that the acting was so bad for this scene, and that if this scene was released, it would actually have been a global mockery that would go viral. After the screeners expressed their thoughts on the controversial scene, Netflix knew they couldn't put up with this, especially after the viral pregnancy video. To make matters worse for Meghan now is that both Greg Peters and Ted Sarandos are not listening to her demands to restore the scene at all, and though Ted is still on Meghan's side more so than Greg, he is still actively showing signs of slowly turning against her due to her being that damaging to the Netflix image and their reputation. Netflix is also, of course, refusing to release it as a deleted scene. Now, look, that's another thing, is that they're not going to actually allow this thing to reach the day of light, or the light of day, I should say, and they're going to keep it locked up in a vault. It's going to remain in the dark forever, and nobody will ever see this scene. And you know what? That's probably best for everyone. It's probably even best for Meghan Markle, because if she is asking for a third wave of backlash, this would probably be it. You know, this would absolutely be the global mockery, as screeners pointed out, that it would be, and that it would become if it was released on Netflix. Now look, I think it would have been quite entertaining to see this thing, without a doubt, but it was a good move by both Greg and Ted to say, yeah, maybe we should just get this out of there before it's too late, before we actually make a fool of ourselves, and how it's too similar to that pregnancy viral video, not a good idea to put it out there. So this was ultimately connected to her social media campaign about that viral video that she posted on Instagram, and it's all interconnected, right? This thing is really impacting her overall career over at Netflix. It's impacting her career in the film industry, or whatever career that she has now in 2025, which is very minuscule. We already know that the film industry is already outright rejecting her, studio after studio. A lot of people just don't want to deal with Meghan Markle anymore, and that's all there is to it. But overall, I think that at the end of the day as well, when you look at Netflix, when you look at Greg and Ted, when you look at the board of directors, they're now beginning to realize, like, hey, it's not a good business model to maybe put up material that has Meghan Markle rapping to music, or to rap music, in the kitchen while making soups with Mindy Kaling and other surprise guest cameos. That was a very good call that they got rid of that, and I don't even know why they filmed this thing to begin with some months ago, but it really just goes to make you realize that that is, of course, Netflix in general. They don't really have a good mind. They don't have a good head on their shoulders when it involves Ted Sarandos in isolation. You need Greg Peters, you need Ted, of course, to actually level up to Greg Peters and his overall mindset to have this actual streaming platform function properly. But overall, I would love to hear what everyone has to say about the whole Meghan Markle situation and everything else going on over at Netflix between herself, the executives, the producers, the CEOs, and how this is just creating, ultimately an ongoing wave of backlash that doesn't seem to be stopping behind closed doors. Anyway, I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.